Yo, what up, Cuzzy Wuzzies? You're listening to the Bay Ridge Boys History Hyenas.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the History Hyenas. I'm Chris DiStefano, Chrissy the Big Gay, CBG, and I'm here with Yannis, Freddie Cheese Pappas. We are finally back in the studio together. Finally, our schedules lined up. As always, Zach Isis is here. As always, Bardo White Wasp Church is not here. He's not here.
This is about to be History Hyena.
This is the History...
It was about to be the History Hyena.
What do you mean?
Now we're making a History Hyenas again.
Yeah,
we've been separate for 3 episodes.
We've been separate for 3 episodes, and if you could tell, Yannis has got a little depression in his voice. That's probably what it is. But Yannis,
I got a sexy voice.
Yo, Yannis got a sexy voice, but
Yeah.
let me tell you guys something. Today, Yannis is a sad kid.
Yeah, but it makes
For no reason.
It makes my voice sound... I got a really good voice.
Yo, you got a sexy voice. You just wearing a white... You look like you're in Streetcar Named Desire.
That's right.
Yeah.
I look like James Dean on a downtime on a Tuesday.
Yeah, well, was it Marlon Brando or James Dean?
James Dean. White T-shirts. He used to smoke Stokes.
Yeah, he died early,
Yeah,
though, right?
he was also a handsome kid like me, because I'm a cute car.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have a good voice. I have to start hanging out with you less.
Okay.
Because I want my New York accent to be less.
You want it to be less.
I'm trying to get the trash monkey level down to a 0. I'm trying to go full cuck.
Yeah.
Less trash monkey.
But when you live in Bay Ridge,
Tough.
That's how everybody speaks.
Yeah, tough.
Yes, I was
If we had to send a representative for what the borough of the peninsula of Brooklyn, Queens, basically Long Island, the peninsula of Long Island is,
Right.
to aliens,
Right.
if we had to send a representative to explain the borough,
Right.
it would be you.
You think it'd be me?
You would just be like, go probe this guy,
Yeah.
and everything you need to know about Brooklyn, Queens,
Right here.
is encapsulated in his flesh.
Yeah, but I'm also wearing a Wham t-shirt.
Yeah, that's the gay part that's inside.
Yeah,
you know? That's the
interesting.
gay part that's inside.
I'm wearing a Wham shirt with Jordans.
Yeah, but that makes you even a more better. That doesn't make sense. A more better?
Yeah.
That's a trash way to say it.
Yeah, you're
a
a
more
piece of
better,
shit, yeah.
more better representative of Brooklyn, Queens.
Yeah.
Because you had to suppress the gay because of your neighborhood and
Right.
your father and all that. So everything you learned was how to act Brooklyn, Queens.
Okay.
How to act like a straight kid.
Right.
So you'd really have all the answers for what the toxic masculinity of borough trash is.
Right, and it's because
You're really a gay kid. Now that you're in your 30s and you have a daughter and you've reproduced.
Yeah.
Now and your dad's getting close.
Yeah.
You're gonna come out.
I'm gonna come out. Yeah, because the last 3 t-shirts I've worn have been the Wham t-shirt today, the Whitney Houston t-shirt yesterday, and the t-shirt I wore before that was a Chuck E. Cheese t-shirt.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also you're a people pleaser.
Right.
You're a real people pleaser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that this was going to make somebody happy.
Yeah. You'll take it in the butt if you know it's gonna make people happy.
Yeah.
You'll beta out if you're like that. If you're like industry, you want me to be gay? I'll be gay.
I'll do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
So that does soften you a little bit. It's a little premeditated the way the Wham and the Whitney.
Well, the only way, we were talking about this yesterday, the only way to really make it an entertainment right now is you have to be a bit of a beta male. No one's gonna write anything positive about you unless they feel you're beta enough.
Yeah.
I got an article written about me at the Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival, and the lady who wrote the article said that she loved it, but she had to preface it all with that she felt she loved it because for a muscly comedian, which she never seen without my shirt on, she would not be saying that.
It's very funny that she said that.
Yeah.
She said she thought you were an alpha or a
thought I was
muscly.
an alpha.
Yeah, I thought you were an alpha.
Alpha muscly comedian, but I had beta qualities about me, and that's what made it so great.
And that's made it good.
It's
she went beyond beta qualities. She was basically saying you're more a beta, act more like a beta,
right?
Even though you look more like an alpha,
right.
And that's why it's funny.
Well, it's like a lot of these people who write about comedy. You only really people that understand at least stand-up comedy or other stand-up comedians. Most people, I feel like nobody else she was. I remember in this article she was saying like she couldn't differentiate sarcasm from complaining. It's like you have to be able to differentiate that, but she couldn't. So it's I guess the easy thing to do is for people to just say nowadays you're beta, so you're acceptable.
It's amazing because it used to be, being funny used to be considered such a male trait, such a male, like something you did to impress women, to make them laugh, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And now it's swung all the way to the other side, the other way. It's like,
but the girls,
like even Woody Allen, who's as fucking neurotic and beta as it get, was really, his perspective was really male, and really like was banging a lot of chicks, and he always, it was always very male, and so, but now it's like,
well, I mean, the girls in like New York neighborhoods, like the girls out on Long Island or Brooklyn, Queens, trash, they still like the old school guy. They don't like the new guy. They make fun of that guy.
Yeah, I would say probably the majority is. It's just Hollywood is run by these sort of it's a strange type of personality that gets into entertainment.
Right.
Somebody who fails about 70-80% of the time in the things that they pick or they think are going to work.
Yeah.
As a comedian, it's interesting that people who become comedians are people who have unbelievable abilities to be strong, to be different, to have insight, and to work towards something that works at least 70-80% of the time. We're conditioned with every joke we write to not tell that joke unless it works.
Exactly.
So we pick, and usually even the things that our instincts tell us to pick are things that end up working.
Right.
We don't. 70% of our material is not like, oh, that's not going to work.
Right.
Whereas people get into entertainment, they just throw shit at the wall
Yep.
based on trends until 1 out of 10 of those things sticks.
They'll contradict themselves every season.
They throw shit at the wall.
Yeah.
Because they have no idea and really no insight on their own. They follow what they think is hot, and usually the thing that they're following that is hot is something that was completely original that they resisted in the first place.
Could you see yourself at some point quitting the business, or that could never happen for you?
I'm not going to quit the business. I'm going to make it on my own terms like I have before.
Right.
I'm going to do it again.
Could you see yourself committing suicide?
I'll do it. No, I'm going to be the only comedian, I think, in recent memory who has kind of blown up 3 times.
Yeah.
In 3 completely different ways.
Yeah.
This last time's going to be as myself doing stand-up.
Yeah.
So I blew up twice as complete,
Maurice and Panos.
Completely different characters that are so different from one another.
Right.
And represent different sarcasms I was trying to encapsulate.
Right.
And then this one's just going to be an all-encompassing. I'm tired of lying. I'm tired. When Patrice, when Patrice died.
Yeah.
Patrice really did keep order, just as far as artistic integrity in the comedy business is concerned.
Right.
At least in New York, Rogan does it a little bit by catching thieves and stuff like that now.
Right.
And since, but Patrice was really the one everyone was kind of scared of because he was really concerned with originality, integrity, and not being a hack. And he would call people out. And when he left, fucking the lunatics started running the asylum.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Well, you know what the good positive news is that our birthdays are 1 day apart, August 25th and 26th, and I've decided that Sunday, August 26th, because we got work Friday and Saturday night, me and you and the matriarch, and invited a few comics already, we're going to celebrate our birthday parties. We're going to have a birthday party at the Renaissance Fair in upstate New York, in Tuxedo, New York, and Zach Ice is going to come. We're going to be in costumes. We're going to joust. I got everybody coming, and if you're a member of the matriarch, you're invited to meet us up there Sunday, August 26th. 11 a.m. We're going to be at the Renaissance Fair, and it's going to be I already got about 20 comics coming.
Yeah, you just missed special needs.
Yeah,
like one
dude.
You were what? The doctor had your head. It was just like if it was a millimeter more of pressure.
Yep.
I think he put enough that made you put a Wham shirt and want to go to a Renaissance Fair.
Just a little bit, because 2 years ago, I had my birthday party, my 30th birthday. Mm-hmm. I had it at fucking Medieval Times.
Yeah, you did.
Yep, and it was a great time.
What are you going to do on your 40th birthday? You going to go to watch Cinderella?
No.
Live?
No, I like medieval stuff. No, my 40th birthday, for my 40th party, let's see if I did Renaissance Fair.
You want to go see The Lion King?
Yeah. Or maybe I'll
go to Legoland?
Yeah. Let's go to maybe we'll go to Hershey Park. I'm going to Hershey Park this summer.
You are, aren't you?
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Yeah. You get just as excited as your kid for that young stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to stay young, you know?
Yeah.
You got to stay young and, you know.
Especially in this day and age.
Yeah, I can't, fucking these rules that, you got to do this, you got to do that. I can't do it.
You're not a society guy.
No.
You're not a society guy.
But I feel like it doesn't bother, like, I can usually tell when someone's genuine. I think that's why sometimes the hipsters and the gentrification, I talk about it in stand-up, we both do, about why they bother me, because they're just doing it because everyone else is doing it. They're just following some trend. They don't really want to ride a unicycle. They don't really want to be on a fucking scooter. They're just doing it because they think it's cool.
I think the irony, and the irony about their irony, which is hilarious, is that they all try so hard to be different than people who sort of conform.
Right.
You go to, and they're trying so hard not to be a type of person that they end up being a type of person.
Yep.
And they all look the same to everyone else who's not them.
Yeah.
And it's even more pathetic because at least those people just accept it. They're like, hey, I'm from the South. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
I'm from Long Island. They're trying so hard to not be that type, and they end up being that type, that it's even more pathetic.
Yeah.
Because, like, you're trying to be different, and you're all the fucking same. So it makes it even more pathetic.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You're not an individual. Y'all got fucking tattoos. Your clothes are way too small.
Same.
You're dirty. Your beard is disgusting.
Yeah.
You all look like Che Guevara.
Yeah.
You fucking romanticize garbage. Clean your fucking hair up.
Yeah.
You're all romanticizing estrogen like it's some holy fucking thing, and that masculinity's wrong. Like they're not both complementary parts of nature.
Right.
Just stop.
Right.
Just stop the garbage. It's just garbage.
Yeah.
It's 100% fucking trash without the monkey.
Yeah.
Which makes it useless.
Yeah.
You're a bunch of useless fucking cucks.
Yo, fucking Burrow Yannis is a fucking good guy.
Yeah.
What did I call you before a few episodes ago? Remember? I had another name for you. There was Liberal Cuck Yannis, and then there was, remember, I'm Steel Pipe Chrissy. There was another fucking name that I had for you.
Yeah.
Damn, we forgot.
Steel Pipe Chrissy was funny.
Maybe if somebody's out there, tweet it at us.
Because you're going to be like, I'm going to get on a fucking city bike, and I'm going to have a steel pipe right down here. You're not going to see it.
Bothers me.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like we were talking about the other day, like when all these sob stories, it's bothersome. It's forced and it's bothersome.
Let's not ignore, you can't ignore DNA encoded stuff.
Right.
It's like, look, we're guys, right?
Yeah.
It's in there. And there's mostly positives to that.
Absolutely.
That's why women want to fuck guys.
Yeah. It's nature.
It's nature.
And why we want to have sex with women, because they're mostly positive too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they complement each other.
Yeah.
Just like in all animals.
Yeah.
And also there's this DNA encoded stuff into cultures and not races but ethnicities. Like, you're an Irish kid. You push things down bad.
That's what I do.
Yeah, you guys are wild, though. The Celtic tribes fought wild. You fucking wild.
Right.
Greeks, horrible offensive fighters.
Yep.
Great defensive fighters.
Great defense.
Great defense.
Right.
When you look back at history, defensively, great fighters. And a lot of that's just cultural.
Right.
A lot of it's cultural.
Well, and that's the thing, when people talk about cultural appropriation, we read the book Did you read Sapiens
Yes.
too? You read it cover to cover. Yeah. So we read it. So that book, when I read that, what was interesting to me about, there was one part of it where he was talking about culture and how culture, like the Greek culture, the Irish culture, the Middle Eastern culture, whatever, it's really not like from the first groups of people who lived on the Irish mainland or who lived in the Greek islands. What your culture is today wasn't what your culture was 1,000 years ago. So it's all just these empires being taken over and then forcing actually someone else's culture down your throat. So like one culture will say, oh, no, you can't do that because that's Chinese. Well, it's like, guess what? 1,000 years ago, exactly what you're doing probably wasn't Chinese.
Yeah.
It's just somebody else's. So you don't even understand that people that you're resisting against today, your great ancestors probably were with.
Yeah.
So it's like that whole idea of it's all bullshit. And when you fight about it, it's all like, no, we have such small brains and such small amounts of time on this planet that there is no culture. We're all just human beings.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We're all, even the fact of, being like, oh, the American border, the Mexican border, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Why do I care more about an American child than a Mexican child? It's the same. It's just our our brains have just made up this fucking bullshit society that doesn't exist.
Well, humans do those types of things to try to maintain some sort of order
and control. No, I get why they're doing it.
And you got to kind of do it. Like, look, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just looking at a picture before. Like, nature's just not fair.
Yeah, there was a fucking hyena with a monkey head in its mouth.
Yeah, and then that kid, just
which one?
You showed me a picture of some kid. We don't got to specify, but it's just his body and just his
look.
Genetically, it's not fair, and people do, certain people who aren't born with certain gifts or talents, everyone's equally competitive. They try different ways to bring you down. They end up. Yeah. That's what evil really is.
Right.
When you break down the anatomy of what evil is, it's people who need to connive.
Right.
Because they weren't born with the advantages that the genetically gifted and confident may have.
Right.
So they connive to try to take that person down.
Yeah.
But underneath it all, it's the same game as all animals. Mm-hmm. It's climb up the power structure.
Right.
That's what it is.
And it's staying with clans.
It's tribal, and it's climbing up the power structure. And what human evil is that. I just said one of the deepest things that's ever been said in the history of man because I'm fucking in a wild place. Right. But that's what the truth is. Right. You want to know what evil is? It's just like dogs are social species, and when heat packs form, like we're going to show you, and an alpha claims the female, and then other males challenge that alpha.
Right.
The way humans do it is by using their mind.
Right.
Right? Because if, let's say you're the alpha and the chicks want to bang you,
with the wham shirt
which is true.
Yeah.
You bring out in chicks a very
I have an alpha quality.
You're alpha. You're an alpha male in a lot of different ways. It's not just the look. It's the women can pick up on the brain. It's a pheromone scent thing. The reason why women are so attracted to you is the same reason why all these dogs are chasing this female around.
Right.
Right? You have a big brain, a smart brain, sense of humor, which is a sign of intelligence. You're also strong, hardworking, values, morals, all the things that...
Viking head.
Good looking, strong. But it's not just a strength, because in humans, its brains are very...
Right.
But you have the combination.
Right.
So that's why women flock to you and shit like that. So, and you're a pretty confident guy. You don't have a lot of insecurities.
No.
So much so, you're kind of so secure. People with insecurities it's a little jarring to you.
Right.
You don't even really understand it that much.
No.
Now, the people with insecurities, normal people have insecurities because they're all trying to work their way up to that alpha status.
Right.
Now, some people they just can't handle it.
Right.
And they need it. They want to get up there, and it's nature. You can't blame them.
Right.
So they're going to do something conniving to get up there.
Right.
And that they do their evil acts, and they break these laws. And these laws based on precepts that were created by great genius people to keep order in society. Right. That's what it is. Right. It's basically the human brain creating laws and systems to keep order on what is just a naturally violent system. Humans, we can't do it like that.
Right.
Because our brains are too big, so we need laws, and then they violate those laws to get to that top spot. That's the anatomy of evil.
Cuzzy Wuzzies, what I want you guys to know right now, everyone's listening, see what Yannis just did, that just comes right out of the front of his face. I experience this most days, but if you ever just want, I guarantee there's a good chance if you drive down Shore Road in Bay Ridge, he'll be sitting on a bench staring at a tree, yelling that exact speech or something similar to no one. He'll just be yelling it to the leaves of the trees because he believes the trees, well, the trees are a living
trees
organism.
Are beautiful.
Yeah, but he looks at trees. So what you got to understand about Yannis
I look at trees because they give us oxygen.
Right, but what you have to say about Yannis is he needs
medicated.
At some point, he is going to have lithium pumped through his air ducts in order for him to survive everyday life. He must be on lithium, and we must get the lithium for him.
Cuz, is there anything I said that's not true?
No, it's all true.
Seriously.
It's all true. It's all
jokes
true.
aside.
No.
Jokes aside.
What you said is true.
But no, give me your strong criticism of it, though.
No, there's no strong criticism. I mean, I think.
Is that not the anatomy of evil explained at its most fundamental level in the human condition?
Yeah, and I think, for someone like that's why I've told you, I've said this, insecurity always brings off the most alarm bells to me because I feel like an insecure person is a wounded animal. Yeah. I always felt that, and they will do anything to get that security, which I can see it left and right. I can see it in people almost immediately. I'm like, this person is insecure, and I need to be very, very careful around them. That's the quality that I've told you from the day I met you. There's even been a couple of people that have said, this person's insecure, and you didn't notice it, and then you look a little deeper and you notice it, but you're less cautious than me, with it. Like, I mean, I'm more cautious than you. So you kind of, because you're, I think you actually have more confidence than me. I do.
No.
I believe you have more confidence than me.
I believe you're a smart tactician who always pretends like... Yeah.
Well, I have to do that to protect.
No, you pretend. You use it as a it's a real tactic for you.
Yeah.
You play dumb.
Yeah.
You play possum a lot. Yeah.
I always do that.
You play possum.
I always do that.
And you set a lot of booby traps.
Yeah, and I let people talk around me, and I'm like, what this guy's saying is 100%
like,
wrong,
no,
but what am I going to do?
And then you'll compliment somebody else, blah, 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 blah. So then that person doesn't see you coming. People don't see you coming.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smooth tactic.
Yeah, but I'm a psycho, right?
No, not really. I don't know.
You got higher on the psychopath test than I did, or did I get higher? I forgot.
I think I got higher. Yeah. I got higher. Yeah.
Yeah. Trash monkey the hyena's looking at me. I'm gonna fucking rip its face off.
I think you have a better chance of being psycho. I have a better chance of being so stout. I was born with a heart, but I might be so stout at this point. Yeah.
By the way, the picture that Zach has chosen is of two hyenas mating, which is fucking. You don't see that much. You don't see a pseudo dick going into a puss very often.
No, that's not a pseudo dick. That's a real dick going into a pseudo puss.
Oh, that's a real dick going into a pseudo puss.
Wow, it's like docking. They're docking. Hyena docking.
Yo, do we have a video of hyena sex? There's got to be one getting humped out, right?
Zach's gonna find one.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's interesting too? We talking about these people who are insecure. What's the entertainment business, especially the comedy business, filled with? Insecure people. That's who gets in. Like, comedians are insecure people.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
You know what the two things that I think reign over comedians? Insecurity and Asperger's. Those two things.
Well, the Asperger's thing is a new thing.
Well,
hold up, Zach, before you play, this Asperger's autism shit is a new thing.
How new?
It's just it's since this trend has gone towards demasculating, towards neutering males. It used to be the comedians were super masculine and super charismatically hilarious.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right.
You look at Jackie Gleason. I mean, these guys were fucking animals and masculine. The autism thing is this new thing where sort of they push people who are really joke writers with no charisma to the front as performers.
Right.
And so that's a new thing.
Yeah, but I still think no matter what, and you talked about this before, like, you could even go into a crowd of all, like, hipster people who, like, love the Asperger's, who probably have Asperger's themselves, and you just naturally be funny in your own Brooklyn way, and they laugh harder at you than any of their own kind.
That's because the system's rigged, and I've really discovered that. This morning I was in a K-hole about it. Listen, hear me out. Nobody's watching those shows.
Right.
No, the whoever's being front, even some of them are some of our friends who are great joke writers, but zero fucking charisma. Normal people don't want to hear you or look at you.
Right.
It is what it is.
Right.
That's just what it is. Nobody's watching, but they will keep pushing it.
Why though?
Because it's a demasculate. Because that person's a woman, or that person acts autistic and doesn't act masculine. There's something threatening about that. That people are running around saying toxic masculinity. That just shows you how we have lost our fucking minds.
Right.
We've lost toxic. You're saying something that is obviously an evolutionary need that has gotten us here. That has obviously been selected through female choice. Female chooses the male in all species. So whatever masculinity has survived to this day is because femininity has deemed it worthy and needed it. Right. Now, granted, we've had this industrial revolution and now this tech revolution, and masculinity needs some tempering, but don't fucking throw the baby out with the bathwater and just start going toxic masculinity.
Right.
Like there's no such thing as toxic, like femininity's good and masculinity's bad. That's how psychotic this fucking world has gotten. So to answer your question, the reason is because they're fucking neutering men.
Yeah.
I'm losing it, cuz.
Yeah,
I'm losing it, but I'm gaining it.
You're losing it.
So those shows aren't doing numbers, but they keep pushing them.
Right.
And then Roseanne, who's a psycho, admittedly, fucking lost her mind, but just is naturally unbelievably charismatic and hilarious, right? is just an animal and a beast when it comes to that. And John Goodman, and they put that back on the air with some decent writers, and it shoots to like 23 million. And you got these idiots going, how's this happening? Because it's good.
Right.
Because people want to look at Roseanne.
Right.
They want to look. They don't want to look at someone who sounds like or looks like they just can't. These people are autistic. Nobody wants to stare. They want to look at people they want to fuck, and they want to look at people who are naturally hilarious, like Robin Williams.
Right.
Right. Okay. The guy can't write a joke. Good. But he can't. He stole a lot. He could write, but he's fucking a genius. Jim Carrey, fucking a genius with his performance.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But for some reason, there's been an effort to really demasculate men.
Yeah.
It's really true. It's looked at as a bad thing.
Yeah, well, I saw that firsthand when I was just up at the Just for Laughs Montreal Comedy Festival. It's like, yeah, the more manly you were, you know, the more they're like, oof, you know, like I said, even in the article, the only way to it be acceptable nowadays is the man has to be beta. You can't actually do man stuff.
And that has to do with whoever's the people who are at the top who are making those decisions.
You know what's the thing I noticed?
Yeah.
You know what's you know how fucking crazy is it? It's weird that we're talking about this. You know, I went to the gym every day in Montreal. I went to the gym every day. I remember when I first went there in 2013, so it's only 5 years ago, the gym was packed with comics. Packed. Nobody in the gym.
Yeah.
Just me and Godfrey. That's it.
Yeah.
Godfrey was masculine.
Yes.
Diesel. Nobody in the gym.
Yeah.
Nobody there. Everybody's just like, nah, not too. Yeah. So it's like, and I don't know if maybe that could have just been coincidental, but I do know that, you know, because like whatever, but I do know that like, you know, yeah, like back in the day, it was just like a comedian would talk sports. Of course they could, but now you're like a rare thing if you're a comic that can talk about sports.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh. Yeah. That's interesting because most comedians are just a kind of person and look, it's not good or bad. It's just a sign of the times. It's just what the fact of the times are is that like what you said, what being humorous is something that attracts a lot of women. The kind of man who does it now is not the typically attractive male anymore.
No,
it's a different. It's a very weak kind of male, and what happens when you start to have the weakness. You know what happens? You start to breed with that. The population starts to get a lot weaker.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even look at Schultz, right? Schultz is a guy.
Andrew Schultz is a guy.
He acts like a guy. He acts like a guy. And like I'm sure there's a lot of these people here, you know, who like don't like him or whatever.
Right.
It's like because he acts a certain way. He acts like a confident guy.
Yeah.
He's getting millions of views on his clips now with zero help from the industry.
Zero.
Not 1%. Zero push.
Yeah. Actually push away from
push away. Millions. Selling out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Rogan did it on his own. It's like, so if you're telling the industry saying there's no market for this.
Right.
You know, and it's like there's no market for it.
Right.
It's like no, there's really a small. You're trying to make what's actually a niche market and not the norm, and there's less of a market for that. Especially because it's disingenuous and people can feel it viscerally. They just feel like, hey, it's a little disingenuous.
Right.
You know,
right.
People going, oh my God, there was a cartoon of poo and it got me teased. You're like, was it really that bad for you, buddy?
Yeah.
Was it really that bad?
Yeah.
Where are you that much of a victim? Everyone's now just, you know what the real cultural appropriation is? Is people like that taking sort of the African American struggle, which is a real thing.
Right.
A systematic. Now everyone, because, you know, people love to imitate black people.
Right.
It used to be they would take their music and their shit and their style because they're fucking cool. Now they're still in their struggle.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm so oppressed. I'm a white woman. It's the patriarch. Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you really? Do you have it so bad? Do Indian people in America have it so bad that they were able to shoot up to become the most successful ethnic group in the country, all doctors and engineers? You have it bad here because of a cartoon, Apu?
Right.
We're not represented on TV. Yeah, you got here 20 years ago. Literally.
Yeah.
That's not even an exaggeration or a joke.
Yeah.
Like the Indian immigrants came here like 20, 30 years ago.
Right.
And immediately they fucking crushed it.
Right.
There was no fucking Indians here 300, 400 years ago.
Right.
It's not like, well, finally they put us on TV. It's like, you guys just started talking without an accent.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
See,
you're the first generation to not sound like Apu.
And here's
I mean, are people losing their their mind?
And this is what I'm saying, and this is what I love, is you get to see true mental illness here on the podcast, because he came in completely with no energy, where he was depressed. I thought he was going to cry, and now he's completely manic the other way. It is bipolar, and if there is not fucking lithium pumped through this studio, this is what's going to happen every episode. And you know what? I say fucking go for it. Let's fucking burn the lithium so people like Yannis, Freddie Feta Cheese Pappas, and the rest of these fucking people can just lose their fucking minds every day, and me and the simulators can just watch and be entertained. Are you not entertained? Yes,
Are you not entertained?
You are.
I got dictator energy, bad.
You got dictator energy. You got a lot of people that'll fucking follow you and drink that Kool-Aid.
Because me and you have a constant game we play where
Love it.
Who's the dictator?
Yeah.
I think I just did I wrestle it back from you?
Yeah, I'm giving it to you. Put me into, I'm not saying that. I'm just fucking watching in awe of you. You're in a fucking Hanes-sized medium t-shirt with your glasses tilted.
Lacoste.
Yeah, you shaved. You shaved your face, but you still don't have a haircut, so you look like an idiot, and you're just out here fucking yelling about making sense, by the way, sense with points. You're not on snooze anymore.
Yeah.
You're wearing jeans. It's 900 degrees, and I'm in a fucking Wham t-shirt, just taking it in the face. I'm getting teabagged by your knowledge, and me and Trash Monkey Hyena and ISIS fucking dig it.
Banning a word's not going to do anything, because then they'll just call gay people Trudeaus.
That's why. That's it.
They'll come up with a new word.
That's why I reposted on my Instagram yesterday, and you guys can see it on Chris D Comedy, my Instagram. I reposted the Leslie Jones thing from The View. And Leslie Jones, some people were commenting like, oh, trying to get points. I don't know Leslie Jones. She doesn't know me. I've had a couple of interactions with her that, to be honest with you, I felt like she didn't like me, and she was kind of like just rude, but not rude, but just, and so it's like, I don't care. I have nothing to do. I have no opinion of Leslie Jones. I don't even listen to her work, really. But when I saw that, I was like, what she said to me, and you could say, all people are like, oh, yeah, but she got this person banned on Twitter, and that, maybe that's so. But I'm saying what she said on The View, I thought was profound enough for me to be like, I just want more people to hear it. I don't care that Leslie Jones said it. Yeah. I just want more people to hear what she said, because she was like, if you want to go through life miserable, then you'll kill comedy. Yeah. But if you just want darkness to, bring light into the dark situations, then you'll let comedians say what they want to say, and you won't walk around looking to be offended. People are looking. They're waiting for you to be offended. Like when you're in a bad relationship and the girlfriend is so insecure that she's waiting for you to make a mistake. It's not like, if a mistake happens, she's looking through your phone, she's asking me the questions. That's what's happening with PC culture now. They cannot wait for you. Your whole life is spent walking on eggshells right now because of that. So I'm happy that Leslie, and only a black woman or a straight white man cannot say what Leslie said. And and people are like, people on my comments being like, yeah, but if you said that, you'd be in trouble. Probably. True. But I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. I'm just happy she said it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that's why I reposted it.
There's a lot of fake journalists' careers who depend on being able to report on outrage.
That's the thing.
So that's what it is.
That's my point of this whole thing. It's like, so there's people, the same people who want to cry about all these things that are going wrong. If we all of a sudden fix those things, you don't have a job. No. So isn't it better for you, to just keep the problems afloat some way by looking through Trevor Noah's tweets from 30 years ago, and now trying to make believe that he's a bad person and that he's a racist? Because guess what? You can't write a blog without it, you fucking sick fucks.
Yeah, but I do enjoy when it comes back around to the self-righteous people.
Yeah, I love that.
I enjoy that.
Yeah,
me personally,
I love finding out that these self-righteous assholes are pedophiles, or they're embezzling, or they're pieces of shit. I love it.
Or even if they have offensive tweets, because that's great. I love when people who are part of the mob, because that's what happens with a mob mentality. Yeah, is eventually it's going to come around to you. Yeah. As soon as you get something. Yeah. I mean, because
I like to watch it. I like to watch the mobs go, because I have no fucking stake in it.
If you're part of trying to take someone down, they will come for you eventually.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Today, speaking of taking down, we're always talking about taking down, all different kinds of things here. Taking down Push, taking down Hyenas. ISIS wants to take down Westernized culture.
I want to take down Hollywood, I guess.
Giannis wants to take down Hollywood.
Look, just for the record, I want to just sum up before we get in. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with everyone having a voice. There's nothing wrong with the push for diversity. Diversity is a good thing.
Absolutely.
But not at the expense. Not at the expense as of straight white males or any group. It's like you should include, you shouldn't exclude. You know what I mean?
Right.
So don't do the same thing that was done to you.
Yeah.
The abused always becomes the abuser, and that is such a huge mistake to make.
Right.
You know, that's why Nelson Mandela was such a genius.
Because
he was fucking abused. He came out and he said, I'm not going to do the same thing.
Right.
We're going to forgive, we're going to accept, we're going to boom, and we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
And granted, you know, there's still problems there and everything like that, but he himself had it right. That's the way you do it.
Yeah. All right. So today's history part of it is going to be about poly prep. Is it high school or poly prep school? It's poly prep like day. I think they call it poly prep day school.
Preparatory, yeah.
Preparatory school, but it goes kindergarten through 12.
Yes.
So it's
private school, which has become of like a, I think Bon Jovi's kids go there now.
Yeah.
It's become like a very wealthy school.
It's a very wealthy school
for rich people and celebrities' kids.
For rich people, it's in
where's it located?
Brooklyn, New York. But is it Bay Ridge or is it Bensonhurst?
Bay fucking Ridge, cuzzo.
Bay fucking Ridge, New York.
Fort Hamilton, Bay Ridge.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure if that was on the cusp of Bensonhurst though. So I don't know if technically it is Bay Ridge.
No, it's Bay Ridge.
It's okay.
Fort Hamilton. Well, Fort Hamilton's kind of Bay Ridge too.
You can see it when you're driving over the Verrazano Bridge. If you take the lower level and you're driving from Staten Island to Brooklyn, you look out. Once you start to get towards the Brooklyn side, you look down off the right. You see a nice, beautiful white school. It looks like a big white church. That's Poly Prep. You've had a lot of, Yannis said, a lot of famous people have went there. A lot of athletes have went there.
Joachim
Noah from the well, he's not on the Knicks
Bulls
anymore.
and the Knicks, yeah. Who is Yannick Noah's son? Who's a famous tennis
player. It's a very well-known school. It's a private school. It's kind of like, you know, one of those things where it's like, it's great, but you always wonder, like, oh, private school, what happens behind those closed doors? It's like you don't know unless you go there. Well, what has happened, and Yannis, at Yannis on the Patreon page, did you speak to your brother?
Yeah, well, I spoke to him many times.
Okay, so Yannis only on our Patreon, only for the 15-minute Patreon episode that we only give to the members of our matriarch. We only give this to people who have went on patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys are going to get the part of the story that hits close to home with Yannis and his family because they have been around it. Only Patreon members are going to be able to hear that part of it. So if you want to hear the intimacy of it, go to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys and get that second part of this episode. But we're talking about Philip Foglietta. Now, he was the Poly Prep's varsity football coach from 1966 to 1991, when in 1991 he abruptly resigned with really no explanation to the students, to the parents, to anybody. He just resigned. And why did he resign, Yannis?
Well, he didn't get caught when he resigned.
Technically, he did not get caught. No.
This is a wild story.
Yeah.
And recently, a couple years ago, it became sort of national news because Esquire, a couple news outlets, in the light of the Jerry Sandusky situation at Penn State,
right,
this came out as more of a local but similar story. And this is wild. Poly Prep was a private school, but back then in the 70s, 60s, there's a lot, you know, Brooklyn wasn't like Brooklyn is now. So the kids that were going there, you know, like, for example, my brother's dear friend, who he's still friends with,
right?
His name's Frank Sinatra,
right?
He was his mother was Carlos Gambino's daughter.
Wow.
So he's Carlo Gambino's grandson.
Yes.
When Carlo Gambino died, I should save this for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Giving it away. I'm almost giving you the good stuff. Nah, you support us.
Yeah, you gotta support us. Yeah, see, I mean, that's what I'm. Yeah,
I'm a wild kid.
Yeah. See that, and that's the only, and that's my only
JB,
argument.
though. I don't have JB.
You don't have Jew brain right now. That's the only, and that's my only argument with you with the lithium, because I want to hear this stuff. But when you're not on lithium, you will go and do things that are fucking wild that we talked about at length before that we weren't going to do, and you just do.
But I caught myself, though.
But you call yourself.
I didn't give away too much.
Good.
Yeah.
Which is good. Well, that's because you have mostly a female brain.
Yeah.
I told you that. So you call yourself, you can recalculate.
Yeah.
Because your brain is mostly female, and that's okay. And that's why you create characters like a Marisa that we all love. But make no mistake, you do have a female brain and have more estrogen than a normal adult male.
Absolutely.
Which is fine. And you might have an ovary in there. I don't fucking know.
Probably.
You could have one ov.
Should I get LASIK or no? Do I look better with or without the glasses?
You look great with the glasses because it's who you are. But yeah, if you got LASIK, I would say
you'd want to punch me in the face less.
Less, but I think because it's your look, and we have logos and stuff with you with glasses because you look cucked out. I think yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think because you without glasses, it's weird for us because we're only used to seeing you with glasses.
Which lap would you rather sit on? Me with glasses or without glasses?
I'd rather sit with you with glasses because I'd want to sit on your lap and then fog up your glasses and write and draw little hearts in the fog on your lenses.
When did you start wanting to sit on laps, cuz?
I started wanting to sit on laps, I would say 1991, 92. Right about when Philip Foglietta left Poly Prep.
Does it feels warm and fuzzy when you sit on a lap?
Yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's yeah.
Philip Foglietta would have definitely got you.
Yeah.
He would have definitely got you.
Well, wait. Well, let's tell him.
So he's Poly Prep was a powerhouse fucking football program. Powerhouse.
Huge football school.
And he, much like Sandusky and what's his name?
Who?
The coach. He died.
Joe Paterno?
Paterno.
Yeah.
Was the reason and the head behind this legendary high school program.
Right.
And Poly Prep, like most schools that have football's huge.
Right.
So it was good for the school.
Right.
It's good for the school, and it attracted a lot of these working class Italian kids from Brooklyn to come play there.
Right.
And he was molesting like half of them.
He molested
for fucking years.
Their estimates of the over 30 years, or close to 30 years. 25 years. He was at the Poly Prep's head football coach. He molested over 1,000 children.
Can you believe that?
And in 1966, his first fucking year, at the school in 1966, a child told his parents and the dean that he was molested by the coach, and the dean of the school, forgetting his last, I'm blanking on his name right now.
Cuck McCuckington.
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares about these people? Should rename. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck their names. I think his last name was Parker. He said to the parents and the child, if the child doesn't keep his mouth shut and stop complaining about everything, he's going to get thrown out of school. And then he was thrown out of school after his freshman year and let this monster molest children. Over 1,000 children for the next 25 years. He could have been caught and dealt with in 1966, and it wasn't. And then this fucking guy didn't molest anyone again for another 5 years. He let it really calm down, and then he started again.
Yeah. And who knows? Who knows what he did?
Who knows in those 5 years?
Who knows how many he got?
Yeah.
Who knows? But he was able to act with impunity.
And and Philip Foglietta, just think he was fat and muscular. He was 5'5" and weighed over 250 pounds, so he kind of had a me body.
Yeah. Yo, can you pull up a pic of?
He's a fat fucking mess. This guy,
Philip Foglietta.
Yeah.
Legendary football coach, and they won a lot of football games.
A lot of games.
A lot of football games, and
everybody loved him. The staff, everybody loved him.
Everyone loved him, and some tragic things happen. There's people, one of the people he molested ended up committing suicide at some point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's right. So I mean, who knows if it was affiliated? But those things.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. Those things really wear on your psyche.
And it was interesting to listen to some of the former players who played for him in the 70s and 80s talk about how, because he was like this, domineering, godlike, he created a toxic environment by making all the kids who played for him he was God to them. He would make them do 2-a-day practices, and they had to chant his name, and he held the keys to their future. He would always hold in the keys to their future, he would tell them. So these kids bought in as adolescents, and the parents bought in because they're like, we want you didn't question anything in America in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. It wasn't like it was today. You didn't question anything.
Right.
You just did what you were told.
Yeah.
So what happened is a lot of these kids would see him hanging outside the showers, would inspect the guys, 15, 16, 17-year-old guys, inspect their genitals, their asses to make sure everything was clean. And they would just let this stuff happen, and they would make jokes. The guys would make jokes. Oh, yeah, he's a weird fucking creepy dude. But they were saying it as funny as Yannis and I talk, like, oh, wow, want to suck his dick. But it was really happening. And they knew when you would go into his green Chevy Impala and he would drive you upstate state, sexual things were happening, but they all would laugh at it because he created this environment where it was all just okay and accepted.
Yeah.
That's the monstrosity part of the pedophilia. The big, I mean, obviously, the touching, but the way they manipulate children's minds. The manipulation of the mind is the biggest problem, and it's the most kind of malleable part of a child's body is their fucking mind at that age.
Yeah, and the way that he used power and leverage.
That's the disgusting part.
To keep everybody quiet and to propagate it and to perpetuate it is so premeditated.
Yep.
And so it's like it's sort of like first degree. It's like first degree crime.
It absolutely is.
It's premeditated, and we're going to get into what people are saying now about pedophiles and everything like that.
And what's another thing he would do? He would talk about he would pick and choose the children. Most kids he molested, their fathers were dead or in jail.
Yeah.
The mobsters, because there was a lot of, don't forget, this was Brooklyn 70s, 80s. A lot of mafia kids went there. He would never molest a mafia son. Mm-hmm. Never, because he knew that would end bad for him.
Yeah.
But it's interesting that even the mafia, if the kids of the mafia parents knew and told their mafia parents, I wonder why the mafia didn't just go in and take care of it. Because who knows? He had everyone fooled.
You got to remember, when it's happening to boys, boys are getting raped like that. You don't want to tell people.
You don't want to. No,
it's
if a girl gets raped, it's different.
Well, a girl gets raped, she doesn't want to tell anybody as well.
That's true too.
But there's an aspect of masculinity where you're like, you don't want to tell anybody.
I don't want to, come off like I'm that or this. Yeah.
Now this is great because we talked about toxic masculinity and stuff like that up to this point, and how much of a horseshit, fucking umbrella term that is.
Right.
This is a masculine environment, and even this is not toxic masculinity. This is a sickness. This is like people who end up raping people and doing things like that. It's not toxic. It's not a toxic part of chemicals in their body.
Right.
It's like you said, it's insecurity, fucking psychopathy,
right.
Sociopathy.
Right.
These people are fucked up. So it's like if you want to call that toxic masculinity, then fine.
Right.
But you can't attach it to masculinity.
Yeah.
It's more insecurity.
It's insecurity
or sociopathy.
But it's like the preemptiveness of it is the premeditation of it is like it's
criminal,
disgusting, beyond criminal. There was one student, Gregory Bucciaroni. A lot of these, that's why it's fucking
good name.
A lot of these guys, Gregory Bucciaroni, or the other guy who was Johnny Marino. Yeah. So these guys, here's how interesting how it's all a community. It's a weird little community. Greg Bucciaroni, who described himself as a former child prostitute, that's how much he was raped, told the writer that he met Foglietta, the coach from Poly Prep, in 1979 at a charity fundraiser organized by Jerry Sandusky in State College, Pennsylvania. And Bucciaroni, who was 14 years old, says he and another boy would pay $200 to have sex with Foglietta in his hotel room.
I mean,
so Sandusky knew. Yeah. So it's like, imagine you don't understand because Foglietta. Sandusky is the most famous, but Foglietta is more prolific, one of the most prolific child molesters of all time.
That we know about.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Sandusky got up to the thousands.
Yeah.
This guy got up, and he knew Sandusky.
You know who's more prolific?
Who?
That woman that we talked about. She also killed them. What was that? The Countess. We talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
She was a child. She was a pedophile too.
Yeah.
So she's up there as well. So that just shows you femininity can be toxic. It
all can, yeah.
But this is wild, dude. We probably have come across so many pedophiles in our day.
Absolutely.
Because it seems like, obviously, not that it seems like, they do seek out positions where they're around kids.
Right.
Camp counselors, coaches, teachers.
Right.
I mean, you know what? I will say this. I'll give you this. Maybe there should be since this is mostly a male problem.
Right.
There are female pedophiles, but it's
mostly
few and far in between. Maybe only women should be teachers to a certain age. Would you trust your? I mean, this shit gets. I mean, am I going too far? Like, I don't know if I had a daughter, if I want, fucking some. I mean, what would make a guy want to be a teacher of young kids? Who wants to be around kids that aren't your own?
But how do you know if all the women are teachers that it won't just start happening with them? Kind of like the female hyenas.
That's true too. That's true too. Yes, Zach's got his ISIS brain on.
Can't, but he's just trying to create discord in Western civilization.
Yeah.
So if we say anything reasonable, he's going to throw something in.
He's going to say, but what about that's not what Muhammad said?
He's like a Russian bot, but for Islam, just trying to create discord between us.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good.
Were you
point.
touched, cuz, or no?
No, I was never touched, but interestingly enough...
You did black out.
Bob Oliva, who was a coach at Christ the King High School in Queens, huge pedophile, his story just went away, though, but if you look up Bob Oliva, Christ the King, huge pedophile. I went to Bob Oliva's basketball camp in Christ the King when I was a kid, and I also went to Penn State football camp. So I was around both two prolific pedophiles, but I don't know I got touched, but I do have episodes, I do have jogged memories in my early years, and there are times where I do black out. I've told you that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You went to Sandusky's?
I went to Penn State football
met him?
camp.
You saw him?
Yeah, we all. Well, I don't remember because he wasn't a guy that you would remember his name, but he was always at Penn State football camp.
Yeah.
But again, my dad would drop me off at football camp. My dad dropped me off there. I would always call my dad. So it's like the same thing with Bob Oliva. I remember Bob Oliva asking every kid about their parents. So it's like I was kind of one that you wouldn't want to go near because I had a stable family. I had a mom and a dad who were there every day to pick me up.
Right.
So it was the other kid. There were kids who would get dropped off on buses, who they don't know their mom or dad. So like that's an easy kid for a pedophile. That's prey.
Right.
I'm not prey. I mean, I was a cute kid. I had a nice little tight butt and a good haircut.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. But and they also knew that I was a fucking emotional kid.
Yeah.
I would cry and tell my mom and dad that they made me sit on their laps.
Yeah. I could have been. I went to Poly Prep 1 year.
For camp?
Zach, Chet, and Damien. We went there. My buddies I grew up with.
Right.
Which would have been around the time he was there. I don't remember if it was him. It could have been him. And I constantly think, am I blacking out? Was I touched? Is that why I have such a I'm such a weird kid now? Was I touched?
It's possible.
Did I black it out? Because I was not a crier. I would hold it in.
You hold shit in.
I went to New York Military Academy camp too, me and Ched.
Yeah.
And the Marines who were counselors abused us.
Right.
We actually got kicked out of camp preemptively because we were so scared of what the counselors were going to do to us on the last night of camp because they were threatening they were going to beat the shit out of us, which is what they did for 4 weeks.
Right.
I mean, these guys, that's what happened. These guys, I guess they haze each other.
Right.
They were beating the shit out of us.
Yeah.
And I was the one, Ched would cry immediately, and I would never cry.
Right.
I was a tough kid. I had a high pain threshold.
Right.
So they could have touched me. A lot of people could have touched me.
Yeah.
And my parents were so busy working, they had their own practice.
Yeah.
They sometimes would sleep there. I was pretty much ignored.
Yeah.
I could have been touched a few times.
Yeah. I remember being in Christ the King camp, and there was this guy, his name was Jason Cipolla. I think he wound up playing like 10-day contract for the Portland Trailblazers, but he was on Syracuse, and he had come from Christ the King, and he would come back to camp sometimes. I remember one day I just made a T-shirt. Like, I just made it, and it said, like, I love Jason Cipolla. And I was in 7th grade, 8th grade, I was in camp, and Cipolla saw it, and they paraded me around the camp, and, all the 7th and 8th grade kids, this kid Jared, my boy Wayne, they all made fun of me, called me a homo. I would get abused a lot. I would get abused a lot by kids in 6th, 7th, 8th grade because I was acting like a little, gay kid. I was a little sensitive little wimp of a kid. So I remember.
So you're not a psycho.
No, I was just, but then it turned on for me about 13, 14. I started to just get a little bit bigger, and then I started to learn how to play ball.
Yeah.
And then I just started to blow past people. But it's interesting because I noticed.
Yeah.
There was this one kid, I won't say his name, but there was this one kid who would call me a homo all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. He was like, you fucking homo, you little fucking homo, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And he was one of the kids who was in Bob Oliva's. He came forward and was like, I was molested by him.
The abused becomes the abuser.
He was abusing
just
me.
like I said.
So anytime and it's just something that only clicked once I saw that kid was abusing me and he was actually being abused. Anytime I see someone who just can't let it go when they and it's just
something's wrong.
Something is there.
Yeah.
When I see there's certain comics, there's a comic that all he does is go on rants and talk about how much he hates gays and this and that, and it's like
Who's that?
I don't know if I say his name on the pod.
No, tell me off the top.
I'll tell you, yeah. Where he's just like...
That's something you wouldn't have told me?
No, but I thought I knew about it.
I'm so curious about that. No, there's cameras on you,
Oh,
cuz.
yeah.
You're a fucking wild kid.
I'm a wild kid.
And the last episode, which was great, you did a great job with Joel.
With Soul Joel, Kung Fu Panda?
You said things on that episode
That were nuts.
that were just like, hopefully certain people don't listen to this episode. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're fucking wild.
I was shitting on people.
We'll talk about it afterwards, but I just can't believe you put a lot of stuff public.
Yeah.
You're an open kid.
Yeah.
You're a kid who knows that we're not going to be here forever, and you're leaving it all on the court.
I'm having a good time all day.
Good time. You got a Wham shirt on. You need to be fucking shot.
Yeah, I had
You need
3
to be
bagels
shot.
today.
Yeah.
I went to Pier 69. I fucking love Pier 69 Market in Bay Ridge. If you guys are in the Bay Ridge area,
best.
go to Pier 69 Market on Shore Road and 69th Street. It's fucking yummy.
So this kid,
Yeah.
it just came out, Fogliola ended up becoming one of the biggest pedophiles. It's a huge story. He could have molested, like Chris
Yeah.
said, maybe 1,000
Yeah.
kids over a period of how many years? 30
years and about
30
25 years. And by the way, I just looked it up. The headmaster's name was William Williams. What a dumb fucking shit name.
Yeah.
And he's the one that told Johnny Marino if he kept complaining, he was on fucking thin ice and he was going to get thrown out of school. And then Marino did get thrown out of school. And this guy William Williams could have stopped Foglietta, and he fucking did it. And that's why Joe Paterno, the legacy went away, because apparently he could have stopped Sandusky and everyone just like to sweep the shit under the rug.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of person now where it's like you have to just. It's very hard. Like, for example, if you found out that I was fucking molesting kids, you would have to not be my friend anymore and out me. It's what you would have to do.
Yeah.
But Joe Paterno
That
and
would be tough.
Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky were very close, and he didn't want to out his friend.
Yeah.
And then look what happened. Look what
Well,
happens.
one part of that, he's not a rat. You got to give him credit where credit.
Yeah, he's an Italian kid, he ain't a rat.
He's not. Paterno's an Italian
But look
kid.
at how it is when, and isn't it interesting, like as soon as his legacy got crumbled, which should have been crumbled 30 years before that, he fucking dies.
Yeah.
That's how fucking powerful the mind and the heart, that connection, he died.
Yeah.
Fucking killed him.
Well, he was a Catholic, so he was pushing it down,
Pushing
repressing
it
it,
down,
pretending
yeah.
it's not there. Also, a loyal kid, didn't want to give up his friend, even though he's doing horrible things.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a loyal kid
Yeah.
up until the point where it makes me a liar.
Right.
I can't,
Right.
like, I'm loyal to you, but you can't make me complicit in something bad.
Right.
And so, he crossed the line. Paterno let that happen, and that's a bad thing.
And see what happened because of Foglietta's, and I do blame this on Foglietta. In 1966, the coach's first year at Prolly Prep, when he was molesting the kids, he was asked to look into a rumble in the squash courts. Older boys had allegedly beaten up and sexually abused some of the younger students. So they were sexually abusing the younger students because they were being abused by him.
They learned it from him.
That's where they learned it from. So they
Yeah.
were abusing. They were using their power as older students to abuse the sexually weak. So it creates this to abuse the weak sexually. So it creates this fucking cycle that's disgusting. And when John Marino brought it up to them, that's when they told him, if you say this again and you keep complaining about this, you're going to be thrown out of school. And he eventually was. He said he saw him and 2 other students plus William Williams, the headmaster, saw students masturbating, being asked to masturbate outside or inside of John Foglietta's car.
Yeah.
And then outside the showers, and nothing was done. Because we live in the type of world today where if that happened today and you didn't do anything about it, somebody would shoot up your school.
Yeah.
That's what would happen today.
Yeah, it is kind of a microcosm of the times, right?
Right.
It's like probably a lot of people got away with this because of these power structures nobody wanted to question.
Right.
Like think about the church, how powerful they are, and how long that took to come out.
Right.
I have friends who tell me their fathers just got touched, like a priest. I have one friend who told me, his father just told him, the priest would come over and just make his father jerk him off.
That's what it is.
That's what it was. It was like part of, and like nobody said anything because they were priests.
Yeah.
It was like nobody questioned the power structure that is the Catholic Church.
You can in Catholicism. You can't question anything.
You can't.
Yeah, and that's all bullshit.
Yeah.
That's why I won't fly Korean Airlines. I will never fly Korean Airlines because they have a hierarchy in their culture where, like, if the pilot, the head pilot, the master pilot, he calls all the shots, and even if I'm like, hey, listen, we're flying a little too low, or why don't we do this? You can't fucking even question him, and that's why Korean Airlines crash left and right.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking checks and balance system.
You need it.
You need it. Yeah, you need. Yeah, see, I mean, and this is real life. This is what happens. Not everything's the fucking movies, okay? Not everything has a happy ending. Most times, most pedophiles their victims never see them get justice. Because you have no evidence. The statute of limitations has went on too much. There was this one kid, William Jackson, probably black kid on a scholarship. Yeah, probably black.
Yeah, William Jackson.
Yeah, Willie
of course.
Jackson. Yeah, and he's probably a good fucking player. This kid, William Jackson. Foglater asked an 8th grader on full scholarship named William Jackson whether he had gotten a hard-on during the fight that he had, and during the fight, the melee that had ensued, previous to this. And he also grabbed the boy's crotch. Jackson reported the incident to his parents, who in turn told that Williams, the headmaster, and Williams told Jackson's parents that there was no evidence that could be found to support their son's claims, and if he continued to report other incidents of abuse, he would be ultimately asked to leave. And ultimately what happened is the school board decided that Jackson was a troublemaker who was not meeting his obligations as a scholarship student. He was asked not to return for his sophomore year. Wow. So that's real life. That's okay. Hollywood fucking makes things everybody wants to see this pedophile go down in flames. Most of the time it doesn't happen. Yeah, that's the truth of it all. Is
this toxic masculinity? Am I wrong? This could be toxic masculinity.
Yeah, is this a toxic masculine environment, or is this just an outlying fucking psychopath?
No, that's what it is.
Of course it is.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Unbelievable that this was able to happen.
Yeah.
And it happened for so long.
Yeah.
And it didn't really come out till years and years after it done. He affected so many people.
Yeah.
He targeted people. Now, it's interesting to talk about pedophilia because obviously this is a high school version of what happened with Sandusky.
Right.
Very similar. Who knows how many other places this is happening?
Right.
And who knows in other countries and other cultures how much this shit is happening. But pedophilia has always been around. At some points in history, it's become normalized in certain empires.
Right.
First of all, there was no really Greek empire, which a lot of people are wrong about. There was a bunch of city-states that fought with each other. Athens was one of the powerful city-states.
Right.
Rome was an empire.
Right.
But pedophilia amongst the aristocracy in the Ottoman Empire, in certain city-states in Greece, in the Roman Empire, it kind of was a normal thing.
Absolutely.
It becomes normalized. They would take the eunuchs a lot of times. They would remove the balls and have these kids stay a little feminine so they could fuck them, keep them young.
Well, because, everybody used to have a 13, 12-year-old wife. As soon as they hit puberty, they would marry 50-year-old guys marrying 12-year-old girls.
Now, how the fuck does this happen? What is this? What is an attraction towards a kid? I had an interesting conversation with someone recently about sort of pornography and sort of the things that happen, the kinks that we develop. Mm-hmm. And it's like, obviously sex with emotion is the best sex.
Right.
When you care about someone, you love somebody, you're deeply attracted to them as a person, when you attract, that's the best sex.
Right.
If you remove that and you're having sex with somebody, you have to put something in there to make, otherwise it's just not that good. You have that natural instinct, so it makes it good. But so she basically concluded, and it was interesting because it made me think like those things get in there to replace what's not there.
Right.
You have to put something, and you got to make it violent. You got to make it kinky. So if there's no love there, sex just gets weird. Which is interesting.
Yeah, I have a friend who takes ayahuasca tea and then he does like mushrooms in the woods and he gets like that like spiritual cleansing and that clarity set, and he cannot watch porn anymore. He said once he's become like, he feels like when you take ayahuasca, like whatever happens, like you just feel like you see things for what they are.
Yeah.
And he said he just
Mike Cannon,
cannot watch. No, not Mike Cannon.
Not Mike Cannon.
No. No, he just can't watch porn anymore.
Interesting.
He can't do it. He said not that he's disgusted by it, but it does nothing for him.
Yeah, Ali Wong did that too. She went down with her
ayahuasca?
husband, and they did a whole ayahuasca. It's like a whole spiritual thing. For like a week, you go down there, you do it.
You throw up. Yeah, it's
you
weird.
Fucking throw up, and then you come back. She said it was amazing. So maybe we need to do that, cuz
I'll do ayahuasca.
Come back.
With you.
We'll just come back and we become monks.
We'll
come back and become monks.
Why don't we do it at a birthday party, August 26th at the Renaissance Fair?
Yeah.
Sunday, August 26th at the Renaissance Fair. If you're a member of the matriarch, come meet us.
I don't know. I don't want to hang out. I don't want to hang out with people listening to this fucking podcast.
All right.
We can't hang out with them.
All
Are you
right.
just inviting them to our birthday party?
Yeah.
No, they can come see us do a show. But there's got to be a fucking wall. People are strange, cuz.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
All right. Well, now you guys aren't invited to our birthday party.
Yeah, I won't be there. Chrissy might be there, and you can hang out with him, and then go sleep in his house. No, what are you, Andy Kaufman? You gonna take him out for milk and cookies too?
Cuz, you're not gonna come to our birthday party?
I'm not coming to your party.
Dick.
If you're making it public for fans to just show up and fucking hang out with us, I'm not doing it, cuz.
Yeah, Zach, you coming?
Yeah, I'm there. We're doing
Fuck
ayahuasca.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, no, I'll go. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But pedophilia has always fucking been around, and it's become a huge kind of contested idea about what it is. And there's this TED Talk that's making the rounds which is really pissing a lot of people off.
Yeah, let's listen.
And it's fucking wild. This woman.
Who is it? Who is this woman?
She's some. Yeah, we got to find out who she is.
What's her name?
We got to know what she does. But basically, what she's doing. Her name is fucking
Ted
McCuckington.
Yeah, tries to normalize.
In the beginning.
She spelled normalize Normalize because she's fucking probably from England or some fucking tries to sound smart.
Mirjam Hyenas.
Mirjam
Hein. She's some part of Europe somewhere.
She doesn't have fumes. She looks like she has no fumes.
No,
right?
she looks fumed. Yeah.
She looks fumed out.
No, she got no fumes.
Yeah.
So she's basically talks about pedophilia being a sexual orientation that people can't help.
Right.
Which is charged and it'll piss a lot of people off. But technically, is that wrong? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Let's take a listen.
Let's see.
Let's take a listen, Zachy Poo.
Let me tell you about Jonas.
Oh, God.
Jonas is 19 years old. He studies law in Munich.
Hold on one second. Hold on. Can you pause it? I think a lot of the problem people have with this is just right off the bat, her tone is not the right tone.
It's brutal.
To be talking about pedophilia.
Yeah.
Because she sounds like she's talking about someone, her tone is like talking about someone who is such a victim.
Right.
That it's like, let me tell you about this sad story about Jonas.
Yeah.
He molested 500 kids.
Yeah.
But he's just misunderstood. That's
Yeah.
kind of her tone,
That's
no?
what it
All right, let's hear
sounds
about
like.
this
So,
fucking
to
monster
continue,
Jonas.
her name is Mirjam Hein. She's a medical student. The title is Pedophilia as a Natural Sexual Orientation. It's based off the research of who she's a prodigy, a doctor in Berlin who specializes in pedophilia.
Yeah, well, you got to take with a grain of salt. Anything. These Germans are fucking weird. You ever watch German porn? Take it with a grain of salt. Let's hear what this chick has to say. So she's
Spare
German.
time, he likes to play soccer.
Oh my God. Is he
Jonas has a secret which he thinks he cannot share with anyone, not even with his best friend or with his parents.
She's got a lot of sympathy for him.
He's just too afraid.
That's what the problem is.
Anger, rejection, and repulsion. Jonas knows that he has to suppress his sexual drive for his entire life. And he also knows that there will never be a loving and fulfilling partnership that he can enter.
I'm changing to fumes. I'm changing my
Yeah,
vote
she
to
got fumes now?
Jonas is a pedophile.
Can I change my vote or no? How's the game work?
Yeah, you can
Only
change it. Absolutely.
attracted to female children between the ages of 6 and 12 years.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, God.
But since he's aware of the consequences for the children, he has never given in to his sexual drive.
Not yet.
What is pedophilia? And what is it not?
The way this lady's doing this is brutal.
Yeah, it's not
the
the right
International
way.
Classification System
She's not the right
for
spokesperson for
illnesses.
this.
Pedophilia is coded as the sexual preference for pre-adolescent children. It is listed under the sexual disorders. Whether the persistent occurrence of sexual thoughts and feelings for pre-adolescent children have been...
Okay, so it's listed as a sexual disorder.
Okay.
Now, I'm going with my instinct here. I'm no fucking doctor or anything.
Right.
All right? But I'm saying that's accurate.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's accurate.
Yeah.
It's a disorder, no?
It's a disorder. It's way outside the scope of normal sexual behavior.
Okay, so to this point, she's admitting it's characterized in the in the DASC. What is it?
Okay.
The DASC. The DASC of
the DSM.
The DSM.
Yeah.
As a fucking. Which is the book where they have all the diagnoses for mental shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So she's saying it is a disorder. Okay.
acted upon or not is not relevant to the diagnosis. Like every other sexual orientation, pedophilia can have different characteristics.
Now she's calling it an orientation.
For example, it can be heterosexual, it can be homosexual, bisexual.
Okay.
Some pedophiles are exclusively attracted to children. Others are not exclusively attracted to children, but they're also sexually interested in adults. But their main sexual interest lies within children. Only if this main sexual interest is given, we talk about pedophilia. The The vast majority of all pedophiles are men, about 99%.
Toxic masculinity.
Within the male population, 1 to 2% are considered to be pedophiles.
It's a lot.
This translates to about 60 million people
Holy
worldwide. This is as much
Wow.
as the population of Italy.
Can you put it on
Well,
pause?
South
though?
Africa.
Holy shit.
Yeah, but you know what? When it comes to the stats like that, especially like, it's like, how did you come up with that?
It is worth it to mention that it was taken down by a combination of the research cited, such as that stat was open to serious misinterpretation. That was a quote from Ted, and also she requested it to be taken down because she was scared after this.
Of that? Scared of that?
She was scared. Well, the quote says that she was scared for her own life after this and like getting threats, I guess, because of this talk.
Yeah.
But the main reason by Ted was the research did not
Gotcha.
add up.
Because how would you come up with
Doesn't
that?
make sense.
People don't volunteer, hey, I'm a pedophile. I mean, it's like...
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. All right. And that seems like a lot of fucking people.
Yeah.
And I you know, that would, you know, that's the thing. It's like, that's what we're trying... What comes first? The chicken or the egg? It's sort of like, why is it that a lot of priests end up becoming pedophiles? Is it because they were going to be pedophiles no matter what, or is it because they kind of infect their brain with this sort of mantra and philosophy that makes them sublimate those natural urges?
I was going to say, you take away something that was given to them by nature, the impulse to procreate.
Yes.
You take it away from them, which is stupid.
Which you can't do. And so I guess the question is this a nature or nurture thing? This woman is about to say it's a 100% nature thing. It's an orientation.
Yeah.
So that's why she's catching so much slack. Let's hear.
Africa. Therefore, pedophilia is not an irrelevant phenomenon we can't simply ignore. Chances every one of you knows at least one pedophile are higher than that you don't know anyone.
Pause it real quick. In comedy, I would say we probably know about 5 or 6.
Petties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird people get into this.
Yeah.
This is a career that really enables a lot of mental illness.
Absolutely.
I mean, what would Sam Morril be doing if he wasn't such a good joke writer?
Yeah.
If he wasn't so funny, he'd probably be staring at a wall reciting Knicks stats. No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sam's a good kid.
Good kid. I'm saying he's a real funny kid.
Yeah.
I mean, what would I be doing without comedy?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be dead. I'd walk out into the water and be dead.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
Or I'd be talking to
Well, you were putting on that Maurice wig with or without comedy.
With or without comedy.
That was happening.
I mean, it enables a lot of mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I just point. Sam's a really funny kid.
Oh yeah, no, I know. You just picked someone at random.
I could bring up any comedian, and be like, what would
I be doing?
What would you be doing?
I'd be
You'd actually be doing physical therapy. You wouldn't probably be that good at it because you'd be banging everybody who would touch you.
I would have gotten fired by now.
You would have gotten fired.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what would Nate Bargatze be doing? Moving boxes. He's like obsessive compulsive. He wears Vanderbilt gym shorts under his pants.
Yeah.
He has to like do things exactly the same way.
Yeah.
He's mentally ill.
He's mentally ill.
That's OCD.
Yeah, we all have a mental illness.
Paul
That's how we
Verzi
got
has
into this.
OCD.
Yeah.
I mean, we all fucked up in some way.
Fucked up. Yeah.
Don't think you're not, cuz.
I-
You're a strange kid.
I've always been the weird kid my whole life. I'm wearing a fucking Wham t-shirt right now.
And you chew your nails off. You have almost no fingernails.
Every time I go to the bathroom, if I have to check in the shower to make sure there's no one's waiting for me with a knife in the shower.
Yeah.
Every time I take a shit, I have to pull back the shower curtain.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We haven't found out yet why pedophilia occurs. There are biological, social, and psychological factors to it. It occurs unrelated to socio-economical status and unrelated to educational level.
So she's saying we
So
don't know.
generally speaking,
Okay, that's
anyone
honest.
Yeah, it's
could
honest.
be born a pedophile. It is crucial to understand the difference between pedophilia and child sexual abuse, which is illegal and must always be.
What?
Pedophilia is only the sexual preference for pre-adolescent children.
That's right. Yeah.
The difference between child sexual abuse and pedophilia becomes very obvious when we look at scientific studies. Think about it for yourself. What do you think? What percentage of child molesters are pedophiles? Have a guess. Is it
100.
20%?
100.
40?
100.
60?
Wait, I don't.
Yeah, I don't. What?
Maybe
I don't
even
understand
80%?
this part.
If you're fucking abusing kids,
If you're molesting a child, you're a pedophile.
Yeah.
In fact, scientific studies indicate that only 20 to 30%
Get the fuck
of all child
out of here!
molesters are
Hold on.
pedophiles.
Get the fuck out of here!
That's not possible.
What the fuck are you talking about?
There's no difference between a pedophile and because she just said sexual abuse. I get what she's saying. She's saying pedophilia is the preference of having prepubescent children as you're sexually attracted to them. I get that. But then child abuse is what? Is touching the child.
Actually committing the crime.
Actually committing the crime.
Of raping a kid, because it's rape.
Okay, so what is she saying? So I don't understand that.
Hopefully we're going to get some, because the premise we disagree with, and now we'll see what her fucking explanation
Let's see what
is.
she has to say, this
Fucking German. Your people.
The vast majority of
Hell.
perpetrators are not pedophiles, but they're sexually interested in adults. Children can easily become victims of child sexual abuse because of their loyalty and because of ease of access.
What?
For example,
hold on a second. Their loyalty and ease of access?
What does that mean?
Having kids around you is not an easy. That's not an easy thing.
Yeah.
That's what pedophiles like. You have to become a teacher.
Yeah.
Hide your intentions. Make them come see you after school. Give them a lollipop.
All that
Adults
stuff.
are easy.
Yeah.
You have easy access to adults when you're an adult.
She's not making sense.
This does not make sense. I 100% disagree with this, and not for any political reasons or anything. I'm open-minded. I'm going in open-minded.
Right.
But that doesn't make sense, guys. Do you agree or disagree?
I totally agree with you.
I don't take you seriously with that shirt on.
I'm agreeing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Father might abuse his stepdaughter because he feels anger or jealousy towards her mother.
Get the fuck, because he's a pedophile, that's why.
Not every pedophile abuses children. And not everyone who abuses children is a pedophile.
Okay.
Differentiating between these two groups is essential.
We may talk about one or two. It's a very small
Let me
number.
be very clear here.
No.
Abusing children is wrong without any doubt.
Press pause. You know what this is? Our episodes always come full circle, which is great.
Yeah.
This is what is cool now. Exaggerating the truth for attention. That's what's in comedy now.
Right.
People used to exaggerate the truth to highlight the truth,
okay,
and to get laughs.
Right.
Now people do it for attention. Look at me, I'm a victim. So they take the fringes and make it the norm.
Right.
That's what this woman is doing here. She's taking these one or two people who may be pedophiles but not abuse people and highlighting them. That's not the fucking point. We get it.
Good call.
There's exceptions to every rule.
Yes.
But you don't change the rule because of the exceptions.
Yes.
And that's what's happened in the entertainment business right now. Is like they're trying to change the rule and promote the exceptions and only the exceptions.
Right.
Because let's be honest, if you're a homosexual kid, nothing wrong with it at all. It's great. In fact, I like it. It's a great thing. Makes neighborhoods great.
Yeah.
Great
Good
people.
food.
And
Yeah.
it's fucking
Friendly to be around.
Population control too.
Absolutely.
Less people having kids. But this is nature. It is the exception. It's not the rule.
Right.
And if you look at how much it's represented now in comedy, it's kind of tilted over where they're promoting it at all costs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And which is fine. But you can't exclude the normal perspective as well. And I'm going to get in trouble for calling it normal. You know,
Right.
even though it is the norm. I mean, what can you say nowadays?
You can't.
How can you tell the truth? I mean, it's like that's the truth. It
Right.
doesn't mean being gay is wrong. In fact, that's a part of nature too.
Yeah.
But it's like it's not the norm.
Right.
The norm, meaning the majority, and what nature intends is for us to reproduce.
Right.
I mean, that's for all animals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's the norm to have those fringe elements, and it should be don't discriminate against those elements.
Right.
You should celebrate them, but let's not, again, throw the baby out with the fucking bathwater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can we change society without completely deconstructing it? And that's the real problem people had with Nanette, was that it's like, straight white men, again, really, was it really that bad for you, Nanette? Oh, my God, are small towns small-minded? Get the fuck out of here. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are they small-minded about other stuff too?
Yeah.
That's fucking revolutionary.
Yeah.
Oh, and now Pablo Picasso, because he was fucking a 17-year-old, we're gonna say his art sucked. We're gonna deconstruct everything. Van Gogh, there's no There's no revolutionaries. There's no people who lead movements. There's just it's just bullshit.
Right.
What you're saying is exaggerated for attention.
Yeah.
All right. You went through some struggles. We all did. Bad things happened to you.
Right.
But it's not not everything is indicative of a bigger problem in society that needs to be fucking. Sometimes bad shit happens to you personally.
That's what it is.
It's your tone. You're not going to indict everyone. Straight white. That's the thing. I think people.
Well, generalizing on anything is wrong.
It's wrong. It's like
you can't generalize anybody.
The straight white male thing is getting tired, dude.
Well,
are you not tired of it?
Well, it's becoming hack. Just like talking about Trump on comedy on stage is becoming hack.
Yeah.
The straight white male thing is becoming hack.
It's becoming hack.
So it's good.
All right.
Yeah.
It switched from like white privilege to white male privilege.
Yeah, which is nice. White women. Yeah. White
See,
girls
he's paying
think that.
attention because he's trying to figure out how to systematically do it.
Because he loves it. It's
fucking
discord amongst us.
He doesn't have to do any work.
Yeah.
But a pedophile who doesn't abuse children has done nothing wrong. I want to quickly summarize where we are at the moment. According to current research, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality.
Wow. Pause it.
No one chooses.
No, not just like heterosexuality or homosexuality.
Right.
No. Yes, it's unchangeable, but calling it the same, why are you putting it in the same category? No. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with you. It's like having a fucking tumor in your head or something. Like,
yeah.
You can't say just like that. No. Yeah, I agree. She is fucking normalizing it, cuz.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's gross.
Chooses to be a pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster. So let's think about Jonas again. How can we help him not to cause such a disaster?
Put him on an
How
island.
can we help him not to live out his sexual urges?
Give him
How
Greenland.
can we prevent
Seriously.
Why don't
child
we make
sexual
that pedophile
abuse?
island?
Yeah.
In fact, scientific studies indicate that one of the strongest predictors for child sexual abuse committed by pedophiles is social isolation. People who can't tell anyone that they're pedophiles logically won't get any help.
Can you pause it? So should we just make them be teachers?
Yeah.
I mean, what is she saying?
You want to give them their safe space? What do you want to do here?
We're not supposed to isolate people who are pedophiles from. I mean, she's saying that the reason they abuse is because we isolate them. This is bullshit. Because if someone's a pedophile, we don't know it, so we're not isolating them. Right? Because it's something people keep a fucking secret.
Of course.
And the reason they end up committing child abuse is because they're fucking pedophiles.
And because
they want to do it.
And guess why they're doing it?
This speech is bullshit.
I think you just debunked the whole thing.
I fucking
honestly.
did.
Yeah, and what she's not saying is that 99% of pedophiles were abused by their parents sexually when they were children, or abused by another adult. So it's all that vicious cycle. So it's all being kept secret. Because
is that true? Is that the truth?
That is absolutely 100% true. Yeah. 90, I don't know the exact number, but the vast, I'm talking about by a fucking landslide, majority of pedophiles were abused themselves as children. So she's not mentioning any of that. Right. She's not mentioning that Jonas was fucking abused by someone. She's not mentioning it. So, do you know what should happen for fucking Jonas? Is he should be in therapy right now for what happened to him as a child. Right. Because I guarantee you, he didn't just wake up one day and say, "I want to fuck an 8-year-old." He was jerked off in nursery school. That's what happened. I can say that with no fact checking and say that it is more than likely true that Jonas was abused.
Okay.
More than likely.
Let's hear what else this German girl has to say.
Example, they can't tell their friends that they can't go to the beach because children in swimsuits might be there as well.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
They can't get support for situations they might not control entirely. And they can never be completely frank.
Oh well, nature's not fair. Nature's not fair.
There you go,
dude. This is just a symptom of what's become pop.
Yeah,
it's like It's not fair. Yeah, nature's not fair, guys. That's
course.
why we have this podcast.
Life isn't fair.
Life's not fair. History Hyenas. Yeah, sometimes it's just not fair.
Right.
Not everyone's going to get a shot. If you don't get your shot, you don't got it's wrong. There's discrimination against me. It's like, no, maybe you're just not that good.
That's what
maybe
it
you're
is.
not getting that many laughs.
Yeah.
All right.
We can make a difference for Jonas. We, as a society, can be there for him. At the moment, we live in a world that already excludes pedophiles because of their preference alone.
Yeah. Same thing with
Someone
killers.
who is lonely and excluded from society has little to lose and is at much higher risk to commit a crime, like, for example, child sexual abuse.
Isis, can you pause?
We can make...
You're right. I did, because what she's saying does not make sense. They're only isolated after it's discovered that they've done something.
Right.
Which means they are.
Yes. So she what she's saying just does not make sense.
Okay, and here I misspoke. I just did a little research. So now they're saying that because I said what percentage of pedophiles were sexually abused as children? An almost uncomfortable number. So it actually says most sexual child abuse cases are not perpetrated by pedophiles. They are perpetrated by straight men, usually against their own family members.
What's the source though? What are you
This is
reading?
Quora.
Quora. Who's writing it?
Michael Volger, who's a survivor.
And now we can, you got.
Yeah, because then the last part he says the idea that sexual abuse turns people into some kind of deviance, including the LGBT community, is an old homophobic argument just being rehearsed. So he's claiming that somebody like me saying that a pedophile. This person was turned into a pedophile by being abused themselves as a child is like me saying that you can just turn gay, and is that nature something like it was, you weren't born that way.
I see his position. His position's highly opinionated though. What's the facts? What's the facts?
I actually have a separate study that was done recently.
What do you got?
Government ran. It said that they actually took 77 heterosexual pedophiles. 28% of them had been abused as a child, but even after the study, it was kind of found inconclusive because of the feelings to do with it. People don't really admit it. Some people came out later and said that they were lying.
So even lower then. So
it could probably be even higher because of
or lower if they the ones who omitted it, or the ones who lied, the ones that said they were abused.
Yeah, some of them said they weren't, and then some of them came back and said that they were. So it's a really hard number to actually get a hold of.
But if you're going as low as 28%, it's not something people would really lie about, because people who are pedophiles would want an excuse. So I would think that, you know what I'm saying? Just human nature. I don't think too many people would omit if they were abused. But there's probably a few, so we'll make a little for error. I'm just using street smarts and common sense here. Yeah. I would say that what that guy's saying, based on that, is probably kind of true. That it seems a little more nature. And of course, if nurture turns you, then you have to have something in the nature that makes you susceptible to that. Because there's a lot of people who are abused who don't end up touching kids or become murderers or things. There's something in the nature that's triggered by the nurture that says nature is probably the predominant factor of why this happened.
That's true too.
So what the kid's saying on Quora is probably true. Yeah. And what this woman is saying is 100% fucking bullshit. Right. It's 100% fucking bullshit.
Yeah, she's trying to normalize it.
Yeah, she is, because she's saying we're isolating them, which makes them want to do it more. Bullshit. Nobody gets isolated unless it's known they're a pedophile. And the only reason we would know they're a pedophile is if they touch some fucking kids. Yeah. And once you do touch kids, we're going to isolate you, motherfucker. Yeah. We should put you on an island, cocksucker.
Again, more nature. What do parents do? It's in us to protect the children.
100%.
So that's what. So it's nature again coming out. Here we go.
All right, what else is this bro?
Jonas feel that he stays a valuable member of our society.
Let's bring Jonas out and fucking shoot him in the head, please.
Right now, most of us feel discomfort when we think about this scenario.
Yeah.
And most of us feel discomfort when we think about pedophiles. But just like pedophiles,
yeah, you know who else is feeling discomfort? The kids being raped.
Feelings.
Yes.
We do not choose them, but we are responsible for our actions, and we must make a decision. It is our responsibility to reflect and to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles.
Turn the shit off. That's it. We're supposed to overcome our negative feelings about pedophiles? I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is a visceral thing. This is fucking visceral.
Yeah.
If you have a child, so she's asking you, Chris, you have a daughter. She's saying, Chris, stop being so judgmental of pedophiles. Is that something that's possible for you to do?
It's impossible.
Oh, Jesus.
And it's not that I don't want to just exclude someone from the community. It's because what my main drive, nature, putting my main drive in, is to protect my child, and to have my child around someone that would potentially sexually abuse her is not something I'm ever prepared to do, whether it's PC or not.
Yeah.
I'll never do it because I'm protecting my child.
Yeah.
That's what is in my DNA right now.
What's your thought about pedophiles? How do you think it is? What do you think we should do with them? Just put them down?
I think
once they're discovered?
I think, unfortunately,
life's a little unfair.
If you are a pedophile, you have a deviant that is so not accepted in today's society. I don't think it was ever accepted in anybody's society. And because of the manipulation of children's minds, I think, unfortunately, you have to be taken to an island or put in prison. Whether, you're going to do it or not, if there was a button, if there was a scan of a brain and you popped up pedophile and we had true research and true data that said this person 100%, this part of his brain lights up when he sees sexual images of children,
especially the infants, that's so fucking crazy.
You unfortunately have to be removed from society. I'm not saying you have to be killed, but you have to go to an island or a jail cell with other people like you, and you have to just get the fuck out of society. And if you want to argue with me against that, then I just want you, if you want to argue with people against that, what I want her to do is I want her, if she really believes her point, for 3 months or not even a week, I want Jonas to take her kid on vacation. That's what I want to happen. I want Jonas to take her kid on vacation and see what she does. Let's see how your argument holds up there, sweetie.
Yeah.
Let's take fucking Jonas. Let's have a fucking little rendezvous.
And that's why we're the History Hyenas, because we have a reverence for nature that has been lost in kind of pop culture today.
Yep.
Like Einstein said, you want the answers, look deep into nature. People have become a little too disconnected. Because what you just said is just a fucking response based in nature. And I'm protecting my own. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck your study.
Yeah.
I want that dude away from my kid. Whatever it is.
I don't want to see the guy die, and I feel for the guy. But guess what? He's not getting near my kid or any child that I can control. Him not getting near, he won't get near them either.
I'll go out even further. I don't feel for the guy. I don't feel for him.
Well, it's probably,
and I don't feel bad. I got nothing for him.
Look, I'm not saying it
is what it is for me. Like, life's not fair. So
fair,
I feel bad for people who are born with handicaps. I feel born. Look. Fucking take your argument up with God. If there's somebody who wants to fuck kids, maybe we should lobotomize them. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. Well, here you go. Well, that was a fucking fascinating episode. And these people who have just joined the Matriarch. Yeah, we got some new peeps at the Matriarch, so we want to welcome you to this fucking pedophile-free Matriarch that we have here going on. Here are the new members today. First up, we got Leslie McAnally. There you go, Leslie.
Yeah.
Then we got Haley Romeo.
Just when I think we're going to go Italian heavy. Yeah, Haley Romeo.
Adam Mengens.
Yeah, who's that? Adam Mengens.
Adam.
Jew?
Yeah, it might be Jew. Shalom to Adam.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's an Italian kid. Michael Fiorinino.
Yo, fuck it. You own a pizzeria.
Yeah, and then we got someone whose name, and this might be their actual name, and this might be a fact, and if it is true, their name on our Patreon is first pseudopenis transplant patient. So that's what they signed up as, and there's a picture of a hyena with blood on its face as your profile pic. Thank you so much to the new members of our Matriarch.
Let me just say this. Greeks, not a lot of Greeks on our Patreon. Fucking cheaps.
Yeah.
You should be supporting me more.
Yeah. Go to Bay Ridge Boy. Oh, by the way, go to BayRidgeBoys.net, not only to see all the Bay Ridge Boys videos we've posted, but we got T-shirts. We finally got merch up there that says Bay Ridge Boys, and I've been walking around with that T-shirt every day. I've just been washing it and putting it back on, and a lot of people like that T-shirt, so we're going to have a lot more coming, but go get yourselves a Bay Ridge Boys T-shirt at BayRidgeBoys.net.
They're fucking cute.
Yeah. Follow me on social media and everything at Chris D Comedy. I got a bunch of shows coming up. ChrisDComedy.com. Check it out.
Yeah, you know where to follow me. Thanks for listening. Tune in to our Patreon. We're going to be talking we're going to take a more of a personal look into Foglietta, and all the kids he touched. And we're also going to be watching our nature video of the week.
Yeah.
On heat packs that form with street dogs. It's fucking wild. Join our Patreon to hear.
All right, later.
Huh?